Hey everybody, James Robert Elliott here, and I am with Susan Wolf. We are really looking forward to this. We're going to do a talk today about having the courage to be vulnerable and authentic with others, and really showing up for yourself and others so that you can embrace the fear and how to embrace that fear, right? Release some of it, but really eventually, correct me if I'm wrong, Susan, but I think, in my opinion, you still have to embrace some of the fear eventually, no matter what you do, what techniques you do, how much releasing you do. You still got to embrace the fear. Just go for it.
Absolutely. I think that's the energy that gets you to fully present yourself in your best way.
I would agree. I would agree for sure. And it's. I mean, I tell people, there's a million tools I can give you, techniques, NLP, my own tool called the Power Process for removing, fear, worry, fear of failure, grief, imposter syndrome, self-doubt, anxiety, fear of public speaking. And you're still going to have to do it. You still got to face the fear. You still got to do it and embrace that fear, the little bit that's left, embrace that in the end and just go with it. Whether you're following Phil Knight, who founded Nike, and it's like, just do it. I'm going to just do it. Whether it's Sir Richard Branson, who I love, and he says, screw it, let's do it. Or whether it's Justin Sterling, who it's a little more brash. However, I like it because it gets us out of our head. F it, just do it. Or F it, I'm going to do it. And it's again, it's a little brash, but it works. It gets us out of our head just to do what we need to do. And then we win. So what would you say, Susan? What is one of your biggest lessons, and maybe tell us your story about being open, being more vulnerable, being more authentic, because we've obviously talked and it's been a big journey for both of us, being that authentic, that real self, blending our whatever it is, our inner child, blending the part of us that wants to play and have fun with the part of us that wants to be serious and do business and win and help people and succeed. Any suggestions, any advice? How did you learn to do this, and how do you teach people as well to do that?
Yeah, well, thank you so much, James. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so happy that I actually found you because Unstoppable is just something that I embrace big time. I am 70 years old, 70 years young, and I've had a long career as a headhunter, placing people in finance and technology. And a few years ago, I actually changed my career to be a transformation coach and also a grief recovery specialist. So when I was doing my job that I was doing for 40 years, I knew I was impactful. I knew I was an influencer. I knew that I was a motivator, and that I was very results oriented and really impacted people's lives. I felt great and confident. But then venturing out in my mid 60s into doing something new, first of all, it stimulated me beyond belief, because instead of 12 hours a day doing one thing and working, it allowed me to, be educated again and embrace new ideas and put myself out there. But what I was challenged by is taking this knowledge, applying it, and getting out there in the world. And now, obviously social media offers so many different platforms to put ourselves out there. So I've had, in which you and I've talked about, some fears about showing up and being my authentic self, and letting people know who Susan Wolf is. I used to think Susan Wolf, who used to serve people, was like Susie Cream Cheese, a very, conservative, staid kind of a person that fit into the corporate environment. But I knew in my heart that I was this wild, funny, woman who just embraced, just being alive and not just fitting into a mold. Right. So this allowed me, to say, to break away from that. And but then fear is set in. Fear of, do I know my stuff enough? Will I be as impactful for people? Is my verbal delivery succinct enough, purposeful enough? Will it move people? Will I inspire? Will I help in their own transformation? So it was fear of not necessarily knowing my stuff, but my delivery. And then saying, okay, how do I put myself out there? Because now the invitation is put yourself out there, on social media. So I struggle with two different things. Susan Wolf, Suzen Wolf,
Mhm.
is the transformation and transition coach. And then there's another site that I have on Instagram is called Nan Zahoot, Nanzahot.
Got it.
And Nan Zahoot is the funny, wild side of me, the kooky side. And I don't care how I present myself. I just have fun. And it's really for me because it helps me laugh. I like to laugh.
Amazing. Right on.
So if I do these, 3-second little stints, it's like I actually laugh, and I like laughing.
I love it.
But then the thing is, now how do I be vulnerable and step out and start delivering? And that's where I need your help.
Right on. I'm happy to, very happy to. It's interesting because you're right. You have the part of you that is the Nan Zahoot, the party that's the Susan Wolf. And I think we all have that, right? That the part of us that wants to make money, be succeed, do well, be recognized, get accolades, and achieve something, and hopefully for everyone have purpose, fulfillment, make a difference, somehow make the world or people or something a better place. Because I really feel that's the key to be fulfilled, right? We can have our passions and our interests and go after them, and that's great. And I think to have true fulfillment, true satisfaction, I really think in my heart, I feel that you have to do something. You need to do something that makes the world a better place. The environment really impacts a kind of higher level. And that's what I love to do. And that's what I think people have. There's that part of us that wants to play, the part of us that wants to make a big difference. And I think it's important that we integrate those parts of us, and so we can be both all the time. I mean, I've been in business meetings where I was someone who was afraid to share a joke, or the old me would have been afraid to be silly or to laugh or make a point about something or tell a funny story about something. And people love it. People love it. I'm like, oh God, this is amazing. They totally loved it. They totally resonated. Went with it. Rarely ever. I can't remember a time actually where people were like, oh, that's not very funny, or oh, whatever. Because people want to laugh, people want to have fun, right. and as they should. And so many people in this.
I think I lost James. Oh no.
There we go. We're back. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not sure
Do you have the courage to be vulnerable right now and authentic?
I do. Well, there we go. I guess that's a great metaphor that in life things don't always go as they seem. We all have no failure, only feedback, and so it's interesting. But we're back. I have no idea what happened there with the tech, but we are back. We are back. Where were we? Where did I leave off? Where did you hear me last?
You were going like this.
Perfect. It's integrating those parts, right? The part that wants to have fun.
You were talking about having fun at the office and just letting yourself show.
Exactly. And people love it. People love it. Sometimes I'm like, should I do this? And I just do it anyways. And not once, touch wood, have I ever had someone say, oh, that's not funny, or that's not right, or I'm offended, or whatever. Just have fun, enjoyable. Obviously, don't be a jerk. But it's like, have fun. And when I've been able to integrate that part of myself and be vulnerable and be open, oh wow, just people will resonate, talk about being charismatic and being attractive and influential. When you're yourself, you're real, you're vulnerable, you're having fun. I have found people love you, because not everyone can do that, and you probably find that yourself as well, Susan. It's just that not everyone is able to do that. So when we find someone that's able to be real and vulnerable and open, even if they're not perfect, even if they're far from perfect, it's like, wow, this person's amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing.
Yeah, well, I do try. My mom always said, Susan, you're perfectly imperfect. So that helped me get rid of the perfection. Not that I was ever a perfectionist, but I always wanted to please and to do my best and to show up, and have impact. But I think it's like what you're saying is integrate the joy. Like if I'm a grief recovery specialist, do I have to be serious and down all the time, or can I bring the joy? And the joy is in the fun. The joy is in the laughter. So there's laughter, there's tears.
Right on. And I think people would tell you that. I think you ask anyone, and people would say, yeah. And you can be that way. And grief counseling, grief therapy, or whatever people do, business doesn't have to always be serious. Grief counseling doesn't always have to be full of grief. And it's like what you focus on is what you're going to get. So be careful and be conscious of what we're focusing on. And live a good life. And I think there's a saying I love, and the saying goes like this: the longest journey you'll ever take is the journey from your head to your heart. And it is true, because we're all in here in our heads worried about what will people think, what will people say, will they buy from me, will they like me, will they not? And our heart just wants to serve and have fun and give and play and do cool things, be with people, do awesome stuff in life, and again, play, have fun is a big part of it, which is interesting. And just so many people don't let themselves do that and play and have fun. And I think I really believe with every bone in my body that when we're authentic, we're real, we're having fun, and being silly sometimes, even when during work, during business, people resonate with that. They love it. They're like, oh my God, this is fun. Susan's so much fun. James is so much fun. James is a hoot. Susan's a hoot. Bob or Fred or Sally or James, I have lots of fun with them. They're gonna want to do business with you more. They're gonna want to hire you more, promote you more, whatever. Go out on a date with you more, because it's interesting. It's fun versus just, all right, so these are the facts and these are the things we got to do, and let's talk about this, and this is the next thing, and put a cover in your TPS report and this and that. Oh my God, it's boring. No one wants to be around that. I think everyone secretly likes to have fun. That's why in my training we have a ton of fun. It's one of the best ways to learn. It really, really, really is the best way to learn.
So in your training, because I've watched a number of your videos where to try to move past the fear and how to be more vulnerable. What is an exercise that you might do that you could show me?
Got it, for sure. So there's a lot of really cool things to move past that fear, and there's two I often give you. Two exercises. One is more of a conscious exercise, but it works as well, and it's making a cost of opportunity table. So we can write on the one side, okay, if I don't do this, what happens? What crap's going to happen? Will get worse. And what's going to happen and what's not going to happen, what great things are not going to happen. Then we make a part two, or a second table of, okay, if I do this, if I do face the fear, take action, be vulnerable, open, tell someone I like them, tell someone I don't like them, whatever it is, again, what crap stops happening, what stuff goes away, is it lack of boundaries, is it people treating you a certain way? And then what happens when good stuff happens, and write all that down. I'll make more money. I'll be more fulfilled. I'll have more friends, people, find love in my life. I'll be authentic to me. I'll feel fulfilled, satisfied. I'll get a promotion or a raise, or I'll show my true colors and people will like me more. Whatever it is, those two tables with two columns each. are very, very really, wow. There's a lot at stake here for me. There's a huge amount at stake if I don't do it. And wow, the second one, holy moly, there's a huge, huge benefit to me. There's lots of great stuff that happens, and all this crap I don't like will go away if I do this. So it's very empowering, very motivating, and helps you get excited, motivated, and passionate to just, it squashes the fear basically. It squashes the fear. Yes, there may be a little bit there, and you can go past it and move past it.
So it's I just want to repeat, so I know that I have heard you. So it's the cost of not doing something, one table, and the cost of doing something.
You got it. Exactly. The cost of, if we don't, okay, what crap gets worse, what great stuff doesn't happen. And then, yeah, the other one would be an opportunity table. Wow, what bad stuff goes away that I don't like, whether it's being broke or not having money or not having the clients you want or not being fulfilled or not being my real self. And then, and then on that table, what does happen when I do this? What does happen when I'm open, vulnerable, raw, real, having courage, just taking action, living in spirit, just do it. What awesome things happen. So those are two powerful tables to do. The other,
I love that.
It's a great thing to do. It helps you consciously, but also helps you feel. So it does help unconsciously as well. And
you want to do that with me?
Pardon me?
You want to do that with me?
We can do that too. I will do that after this. We'll do that. We'll jump on. We'll do that. Happy to. The other thing too, happy to do that. The other thing too, which we can do, is I tell people that fear that's there, or any negative emotion that happens that's there, just sit with it. We're so busy and we don't even notice ourselves. Like, why do I want these chips? Or why do I want these snacks? Or this junk food? Or this alcohol? Or cigarette? Or whatever it is? Gambling, sex, drugs, rock and roll. It's like asking yourself, why do I want this? Why do I want this junk food right now, or this sugary drink, or whatever our vices and things are? And it's often to avoid something or to push that away, or we bail, we don't take action, or we procrastinate, we resist because we're pushing that fear away. Okay, if I can resist and say, no, I'll do it later, or next month, or next year, or 6 months, or 6 years, I can push that fear away and I don't have to feel it or deal with it right now. The problem is, what we resist will persist and usually builds more and more, gets worse. Our life starts to blow up more. So instead, what to do, guys, and I promise you this works, and I promise try this, is to just let it be there. Embrace it, let it be there. So let's say there's a fear coming up, or a imposter syndrome, or some kind of emotion that's coming up that's there. Just deep breathe through it. Feel it, because remember, all healthy humans feel all of our emotions. It's actually unhealthy to numb ourselves with booze or drugs or pharmaceuticals or gambling or food, whatever the vice is, right? Alcohol. It's not healthy to do that. So just literally sit with it, let it be there, sit with it. And it's kind of like burning an old oil candle out. Like the oil eventually is going to all burn out. If we're resisting, we're pushing it away, we're kind of fanning those flames, so it gets bigger, it gets worse. If we just sit with that feeling, whatever the feeling is, fear, worry, self-doubt, whatever it is, anxiety, if we just sit with it for a few minutes or longer, just let it be there and just observe it. Notice where it's most intense in your body. Just let it be there, wherever it is. Pay attention to that spot. And just notice that. Notice that. This is actually one of the foundations of my power process tool. This is the start of it. Just notice it, just observe it, breathe through it, deep breathe through it, and avoid worrying, avoid resisting. Just, okay, cool. The fear is there, or the worry, the anger, the self-doubt, the anxiety. Okay, it's there. It's right here, or here, or here, or here, whatever it is in your body. And just observe it. Just notice it. Just breathe through it. And I promise you, eventually, even if it may go up a bit, it'll eventually go away. Sometimes when you focus on it, it may go up and increase a bit. It's not a sign to stop. It's working, because eventually it'll go out. It'll burn that candle. And that's an amazing thing to do. It works so well. I promise you. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes. Sometimes it takes 45 minutes. Stick with it. Stay on it. Just observe that spot, where that emotion is most intense, and it goes away. It's a very, very powerful process and can help very quickly remove fear, self-doubt, worry in any particular moment when you need to be on, or if it's preventing you from taking action, resisting, you're procrastinating, you're pushing some things out. It's very powerful. And you and I will do that table, the 2 tables as well. We'll do that as well. And this is great because you and I have had this fear and resistance to yourselves, to be authentic. I was the biggest people pleaser in the world because I wanted people, exactly, right here. People didn't like me, for reasons. I had no boundaries. I was a spineless jellyfish-ish. And I was a great person, however, no boundaries. I was just too nice. And ironically, that doesn't work. People don't like you more when you're like that. It's ironic, or they tolerate you. Yeah, James is okay. Sue's all right. Whatever, they're okay. I don't love them. I'm not going to do business with them. I'm not going to revere or refer to them. They're all right, I guess. Maybe I started annoying people because I was too nice, and they hated that I wasn't standing up. It was so interesting. And so just my learnings about just open, being vulnerable, that's a great way to connect with people, and people will love you. When you walk the talk, you act like the real you. Most people do not. Most people are not the real them. Most people can't be, or are not being as everyone can. Most people are not being or feel they can't for whatever worry. I have to my family or my work or my boss or my friends or my culture, my religion, my this and that. Oh, I can't because yes, you can. Try it.
Yep. Well, thank you so much. I'm at the point in my life, if not now, then when?
And that's exactly. And I think life is precious. Time is short. It's already fall. And the leaves are starting to change color. If not now, when? Like you said, and that's a very wise thing that even younger people, however old, however young people are, need to embrace that.
Yeah.
It's now, when, and what's the cost? What's the cost to you for your income, your relationships, your passion, your intimate relationships, your promotions, your fulfillment, passion, your self-worth even? What's the impact and cost on that to not be yourself, not be real, not combine those 2 amazing parts of you? Maybe it's a party like a big kid or a big geek or a big nerd or a big lover or a big whatever. And you need to combine those parts into one real you. And I promise you, people will love you. Sure, not everyone's going to like you. That's okay. You want that. You want that polarization. Right, Susan and everyone. You want that polarized. Either don't really like James, or yeah, he's freaking amazing, or Susan, I don't really like her follower, or yeah, Susan is incredible. You want that. We all want that, or that Bob, or Jane, or Sally, or Ted. Not me, or yes, they're incredible. I love them. They're awesome. You want that polarization versus they're okay, or they don't really say much, or they don't do much, or they don't really have an opinion, they don't speak up much. You want that polarization because that's what people.
And it's getting rid of the people pleasing in us. It's just being unique and showing up as we are.
You got it. And sometimes getting rid of the people you need to please, or at least having boundaries, big boundaries.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But that's a lot. That's a lot in our head anyway. So.
Well, exactly. It's a lot here. Anything we could leave people with, Susan? Any other big tools, tricks, techniques, ways you found to be more open, more vulnerable? Hacks, mind hacks, or even suggestions to people.
I think. I don't have huge amounts, but I would say just stepping out into uncertainty.
I love that. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. Learn to be uncomfortable.
Right.
It's like that muscle you work at the gym, right? You're working the muscle, and while it's easier and easier to lift heavy and heavier weight, it's easier and easier to go with bigger things, more uncomfort, more risk. Bigger rewards happen when you do that.
It's traveling into the unknown.
Exactly. And creating your own certainty. If there's no certainty, create your own certainty. By doing your best, giving your best, and just doing it no matter what, and never giving up till you get it. Create your own certainty in the world, in the market. Everyone talks about this recession that's coming. Well, guess what? If you position yourself correctly, the recession can actually be very, very good. very good if you position yourself correctly, because it can eliminate a lot of competition out there and people that, oh, it's a recession, oh, this is hard, or oh, this is COVID, or oh, whatever excuse, oh, it's summer, oh, it's Christmas. It can help eliminate competition. So if you when you position yourself right, there's always opportunity, and it's always a good time. If not now, when, like you just said, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much as well. This was fun. We'll have to do this again. I loved having you on here. Guys, again, looking for some transformation, an amazing, heartfelt, clearly you can tell, heartfelt transformational coach or grief coach, grief counselor like Susan, at Susan Wolf on Instagram, or just email her at suewolf@alivebewell.com. Encourage you to get in touch with her. She's even got a podcast as well. Susan, is there a quick podcast link, or would just people contact you or me if they want to see your podcast, or is there an easy way to find you on the podcast?
It's called The Gutsy Sisterhood.
I love it. Love it. The Gutsy Sisterhood. Sisterhood, Gutsy Sister. I love it. The Gutsy Sisterhood. I love it. Be gutsy, everyone.
Yeah.
Be gutsy and just do it.
It's all about courage, baby.
And avoid apologizing for being you. I mean, don't be an ass. And avoid apologizing for being you, right? If you want to do well, want to help people, want to make an impact, avoid apologizing for you, for how you do it, for your thoughts, how you feel, how you think. Just be you, unapologetically you, and that is who people will love. That is who people will revere, and that is who people will promote, do business, buy from, refer, and stick with. I promise you that.
Love it. Unapologetically you. Thank you so much.
My friend, thank you so much for being here as well. Your ideas, your great questions, your vulnerability, your openness as well. Everyone, have your best day